Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage number 34-301. This is a number 1 bottom pin by Schlage, sold in a package of 100 pieces. When you buy one, you're literally purchasing a bag of 100. That's just how these are sold. There may be other manufacturers who sell pins in different multiples, but 100 is pretty common. You might see a restricted keyway system that has smaller quantities of pins. I don't really know, but that's how Schlage does it. I have one of the pins pulled out here and we can take a look at it. This is a genuine Schlage number 1 bottom pin. You can see from the tip of the pin that it has a particular shape to the bottom point. Not flat on the bottom, has a certain flattened detail to it. The top of the pin is, hopefully you can tell from the camera that it's not exactly flat, because it's not. The pin is meant to go into something that's inherently round, so it has to have a crown to the top of it. And it's genuine equipment. There is, in the part number, clues as to what it is. The 34 means, to me at least, that it is some sort of cylinder part. The 3 in the part number, the second 3, I should say, means it's a bottom pin. The 01 tells me it's a 1 bottom pin. There is a link below this video to a document that's called Key Bidding Specifications. The bottom half of that document is pretty helpful because it will show you the 34-301 and its sister products. It's the other bottom pins. Those part numbers are given. Schlage has a 15 thousandths of an inch increment. That means between a 1 and a 2 is 15 thousandths of an inch. It's a two-step system is what that also infers, and that you would have parity when you're creating bidding lists. And not to get too deep into locksmithing territory with that sort of stuff, the point of the matter is the bottom pins are listed there. The information in the upper right-hand corner tells us more about the system. The master pins are also there. Those part numbers are given. The sizes are given. Also are the top pins. Now, the top pins are interesting because most people, I don't really think, make a bother about changing the top pins that will come with a system, with a keyed Schlage cylinder, but it's important to do so. The top pin, there are 3 sizes, and you have to have the right, you don't have to have the right one, but you have to have the right one in there for the cylinder to work as it's been engineered. You'll have a stack height, or a pin stack height, and that value will be between 0 and 9. That will be made up of your bottom pin and any and all master pins. You'll then use the chart. The point of that is you don't want to have the spring unduly compressed or excessively compressed by having too great of a pin stack height inside of the chamber or the chamber of the plug, and then up into the Bible of the cylinder housing. So you use the appropriate top pin that's there as listed. So that's really helpful to see that there. Other pins and springs are also listed there as well for your review. Now, the length of a 1 bottom pin is 180 thousandths. If you put your caliper onto that pin, it's going to measure 180 thousandths. But the pin length is really a value that we derive. And here's the important part. The effective plug diameter is 0.5 inch with Schlage. The root depth that's in the table in the upper right-hand corner shows us that a number 1 has a root depth of 0.32 inch. If you were to measure from the root of the key blade, or the bottom of the key blade, down to the bottom of your cut for a number 1 cut, it would be 0.32 inch. If you take 0.5 minus 0.32, well, That's going to leave you with 0.18, and that's where that comes from. Okay. Other information that's on there that makes it important to purchase genuine equipment is that you'll see in the dimensional technical drawing that you have a 100-degree angle for the cuts of the key. Well, that, of course, is exactly the angle of the bottom of the pin. You'll notice that you have a 0.31 dimension for the bottom of the cut, and you'll notice the bottom of the pin is not exactly flat. That's because it's not, it's not pointed. It is flattened off. Okay? You can see it fairly well there. All of that conspires to mean that when you're doing a Schlage system, you need to be using compatible pins, if not original pins. Now, behind me, I have a universal kit that I can pin Schlage and many other systems, but it's homogenized, or it has been made in such a way to be compatible with all of these other manufacturers' requirements. And that dimensional drawing is really important because it allows you to understand dimensionally exactly what's required. So whether you are using pins or cutting a key or pinning cylinders, you don't have to have an understanding of it to do any of that stuff, but it's helpful to have an appreciation of how it all works together, because every single manufacturer is unique in some way. And that's how we know that they're different, because there's something that makes them not alike. And the dimensional requirements of this, of the key cut that's there, whether it be your shoulder to the first cut dimension and then your successive center to center cuts and then your depth cuts, when you have all that information along with the 100-degree and the width of the plateau at the bottom of the key cut, you can, once you've got the right cutter in your key machine, create these just on the would be really called a depth and spacing chart. So very, very helpful information to have there. I'm partial to Schlage, and it's not only because it's the first lock line that I had really become familiar with, but also because of the quality of the product, backed by among the best customer service when it comes to lock sets. There's a particular individual at the factory that I seem to communicate to about once every 2 weeks, and this person dutifully responds to my questions. People who are buying pins are people generally doing the work. This type of person may have very little experience in locksmithing, or they may have a lifetime of experience. Regardless, I get calls from people of all backgrounds when it comes to locksmithing, and to be able to draw on the professionalism and experience of the factory is crucial, because ultimately I'm supporting their product either directly or indirectly. And I think they understand that very well. If you have any questions on the Schlage 34-301, a number 1 Schlage bottom pin, or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.